Welcome to Make a Path Presents. My name is Ronnie Hayes, and today, let's talk The Walking Dead, Season 6, Episode 5, Now. You know, the intro to this was intense, and I just want to put this out there now that Andrew Lincoln puts 100% into his performances, and it shows all the time. With that said, I do not believe they're going to show us how Rick got out of the RV. Then again, when we look back at that scenario, it's probably one that's set up like, okay, the main purpose is the RV's done, the herd is here, Rick needs to get the hell out of there. So we simply just hopped out of the RV and hauled ass. Now, for those of you asking, well, how the hell is he just getting there and the herd is there at the same time? He can run faster than they can walk, right? Well, you got to keep in mind, you know, at a distance away, you would think that, but how far can you constantly run, you know, without at least stopping to get a breather? And then if you continue to do that and do that and do that, and if you don't train for that, you're just regular Joe, you're going to get so worn out that you're going to need to break every 5 feet. That's why I thought it was absolutely awesome. They showed him damn near just drained when he was making it to the gate. I love that. It was so intense, and he looked, you know, he looked like he was actually running that distance. I love the focus on Deanna, and I think that is very, very important because she's still an important character. Sometimes with stories, a lazy writer will just say, you know, Rick's the new leader, out with the old, and that's just simply not realistic. The old leader will still have a presence, will still do things, still interact. So I really like that they focused on Deanna heavily in this episode. Speaking of which, the dread in Alexandria was very much realized. It kind of gave you the perfect feeling and vibe for what's going on inside Alexandria. And I got mad respect because at that moment of dread, Aaron came forward and said, listen, you know, don't look at Rick and his people. This is on me. I left the bag there. I got a lot of respect for Aaron. He really won me over there. See, characters will do something to get fans just like, oh, I love that. That was it for Aaron. That just sealed the deal. I liked the actor before. I liked the character. He vibed instantly. But him just manning up, stepping forward and being like, he owned it. He owned his mistake. I love that. And we got a good look at the Alexandrians and how it's already starting to crumble with the food rations. These people are not a unit like Rick's group. Rick's group would never do that in a million years with the food rations. And that also sets up what's coming up in the world of The Walking Dead. And this we'll talk about in the predictions, but remember the food rations, because this isn't the last time they're ever going to bring this up. That was very important setup for something that's going to happen later on in the back 8 episodes of The Walking Dead. So that was awesome setup right there. The Carl and Ron fight, that was pretty pathetic. I wanted Carl to at least, I don't know, just lay him out, you know? He laid him out, but it was kind of like, you know, they'd go at it, and it was just, and he fell down. I don't know. Moving on. Holly's dead. Fuck. Scott is appearing to be the same as the comic book Scott. However, I do like what they're doing with Denise right now. They are showing how she's learning. You know, she had the Holly experience. She died. Scott, what did she do? Suck out the infection or whatever. She is learning, and it's showing her growth. I do love that little bit they incorporated in the story. And that was pretty surprising when she kissed Tara. I know a lot of comic book fans were probably like, that, no, f that, what are you doing, bitch? You know? Again, I'm a huge comic book fan, but now that I'm thinking about it, I'm cool with that. Tara can have that relationship too, you know? Hell, why not, you know? So yeah, I'm cool with that if they spark a relationship. If that was just like a weird, you know, friend kiss, then whatever, but I'm cool with a relationship if that continues. Suicide at Alexandria. I want to put this in here that the girl that Jesse walked up on the porch and saw, she did slice her wrists, if you were wondering what happened there. Speaking of Jesse, she's really starting to make me feel bad that I want her to embrace her comic counterpart's storyline. Because she's really stepping it up, and I appreciate that, and she's gorgeous, and yeah. Ron is a little asshole. Listen, he seemed to get real cool, you know what I mean? For me, I'm thinking, alright, Ron's turning over a new leaf. He's going from dick to wait a minute, I don't trust you, Ron. You're, I don't know. He's getting a little shady. For me, maybe it was just me. He could be totally cool. This is what played out on TV. Yeah, you know, Rick, you said that you wanted to train me, and after I just said all that to make us, seem like there's no wedge between us, maybe I should learn how to use a gun. That's what was said on TV. What I heard was, I pretended to say something nice so I can get you to let your guard down, teach me how to shoot a gun because I'm going to shoot Carl in the face. Just saying. Can you teach me how to shoot a gun? That's what I heard. But again, my mind could be playing tricks on me. The big reveal this episode, Maggie is preggo. We're going to be talking about this. Remember, I made a video. You get some fans that are like, yes, I believe she's pregnant. Then you get other fans that are like, no, I don't. And then you get other fans, and these are the fans I just want to rub it in their noses. Because these are the fans that are like, you're a fucking idiot. She meant something totally different. For the fans that did comments like that, yeah, fuck you. But no, for the most part, especially here at Make a Path Presents, the Map family, you guys are awesome. So put your thoughts about that in the comment box. How do you feel about Maggie being pregnant? And what do you think about Aaron as the name of the baby? I thought that was actually pretty cute. Try to lighten the mood, at least. That's what Aaron was going for when he was talking to Maggie about that. I do want to take a moment and talk about something very important, and that is Jessie. She doesn't make cookies as good as Carol, and especially when the camera panned up, they looked like shit. But I do want to mention here real quick that they're already setting up something with Sam, and I think that is actually very important because if you're looking at this as a comic book fan and you're excited for what they're going to be remixing and bringing to the screen from the comic book, because in all this bickering back and forth about TV fans, comic book fans, and, fans of both, there's so much bickering that a lot of TV fans that are annoyed with the comic book fans say, oh, shut up, it's a TV show, it's completely different, shut up and stop talking about the comic book. I know we get annoyed with each other, but in all fairness, that's not really accurate because this is based off the comic book, so obviously the fans that were supporting it from day one, and keep in mind I did not buy the comic from day one, so I'm allowed to say this because I'm in the same boat as all the TV fans. I started reading the comic because of the show. But the fans that bought the comic in the first, 5, 6, 7 years, they are the reason we have a show. If they never bought it, if they never gave it any interest, we would never have a show to enjoy. So I am perfectly fine saying, you know what, I respect that. I want to see some comic book shit on the screen, as a thank you to the fans who supported it, because if they didn't do it, we wouldn't have a show. It's that fucking simple. And again, I didn't support it from the very beginning as a comic book, so I'm allowed to say that because I'm in the same boat as you are. So take it easy on your comic book fans. Try to think about it in a different perspective. Life is all about perspective. So moving on to Deanna attacked by the wolf. I want to put this in here in case you guys missed it. Carol shot that wolf. Remember when she went into the armory and she turned around, shot a wolf in the back, and it got away? Well, that was the wolf, and I love how they put that in there. And I know some people are going to be like, oh, how convenient, but I thought it was pretty neat if you think about the fact that he got shot, and it is an instinct. He hid under there, self-preservation. After laying down and trying to collect himself for a minute, he just got weaker and weaker, and he slowly died, and then he turned eventually. As a walker, he's not gonna, get up and be like, ooh, there's the door. So as a walker, they made it seem like, it took him a minute to find his way out of there. And then it attacked Deanna, and she let out all her rage on the walker. And again, there was probably a lot of fans saying, go for the head, you stupid bitch, what are you doing? But with this Deanna attack, that reminds me of something they do in The Walking Dead, where they will put in a piece of information, and this is what I feel is strong, confident writing. They will not give us a piece of information that's important to figure out the story or parts of the story. Not so much where it will confuse you. Here, let me just give you an example. Rick, they didn't show him escaping the RV, but we know it. But in this episode, they don't give us that tidbit. Rick doesn't stop out of the blue and say, oh, Deanna, I had to run from the RV, I had to jump out a window. But later, I wouldn't be surprised if the writers had him explain something to Daryl or who else was out there, Sasha or Abraham, or even Morgan or anyone else for that matter. Later, I wouldn't be surprised if Rick was like, yeah, the wolves attacked me and they shot the engine and the RV wouldn't start and I had to run my ass home. Again, and they might not even bring that up, but I'm just saying, between this, the Deanna shit, the wolf with that Carol shot, they always put those tidbits in there, and they don't give you the answers until later. And I've seen this a lot in The Walking Dead, where some fans would be like, oh, that is fucking stupid, because they didn't tell us this. And it happened a lot in Fear of the Walking Dead. I won't go into this here, but sometimes we need to wait a few episodes to get the full picture. It's just that simple. Listen, I thought this was an awesome episode, and those of you who are familiar with this channel, you know that I do a first impression review, and then after a few days I do my afterthoughts, and that's where we go in depth. Now, I didn't do the afterthoughts for episode 4 because the CenturyLink, my internet went off for 5 days. It put everything on backlog. I'm trying to upload as well as shoot new videos, and it is just a pain in the ass right now. I will have the afterthoughts videos of episode 4 and episode 5 coming sometime this week, so look out for that. And I got a lot more content coming this week, so look out for all of it. Listen, thoughts and opinions about this episode in that comment box. I'm done talking. It's your turn. Subscribe now.